Now that you have your main idea statements written out and added to the titles of three different slides, you can start to pick evidence to support those main points in your presentation. So the thing is, on your slides, you really want your slides to be visual. So um, you're going to have a visual or a short phrase to represent the evidence on the slide itself. Everything else we're going to be doing in the speaker notes on your presentation. So I will show you where those are in just a minute. You're also going to need to open up your source notes. That is where you will find, or that's where you need to find your two pieces of evidence for each slide from. Um, Remember that you have to use all three sources somewhere, and the Newsela source you can also use if you want to earn a little bit of extra credit. Um, but you're required to use each of these sources at least once. So make sure that you do that as you choose your evidence. So on the slides, again, they're going to be mostly visual, not very much text. So most of the writing that we're going to do is going to take place in the speaker notes. So first things first, let's select some evidence. So you want to go to your topic guide, and we're going to select evidence for the first main points. So those are going to be things that, looking at my color code, I've highlighted in yellow. So I'm just going to scroll through my document and look at all the things that I've highlighted yellow and decide which things I think are the most important or interesting or kind of need to know about the topic. And I'm going to select those quotes. I'm also going to make sure that I have something meaningful to say about the quotes that I select, and that I have enough to say that my explanation, I have a lot to explain about it, so that my explanation is not too short. Okay. So I have already pre-selected some things. So if you have not selected your pieces yet, you're going to need to pause this video right now and select your two pieces of evidence. All right. So once you have your two pieces of evidence, I'm going to go ahead and take my first piece. We're accustomed to getting immediate feedback. A great example is online portals where we can get frequent updates on our academic performance. In the past, students sometimes had to wait weeks or longer to receive a test grade. So again, we are going to be copying this quote into the speaker notes. These are below the slide. We're going to need to start with a lead in, and we're going to need to have a citation. So remember that citation, because you are doing a presentation, is really going to need to be in the lead in. You cannot put citations in parenthetical notation. That's not going to work for this. So here we go. Here's an example. So I'm going to go to my first main idea slide, and I'm going to go to view and tell it to go ahead and, sorry, I gotta move my box for a minute. Show speaker notes. There we go. Okay, now I can move myself back over here. So you can see these are the speaker notes, and then I have my slide. Okay, so I'm going to click down here, and I'm going to go ahead and increase my font size. You don't really need to do this, but I'm going to increase my font size so you can better see what I'm putting. Okay, and now I'm going to add my first quote. So remember, I'm starting with a lead-in. The article, 10 things you need to know about Gen Z, explains. So there's my lead in. That's what I can say before I before I give this quote. So I'm going to have a quote. I'm going to Control Shift V so that I can paste without formatting, and then I'm going to end my quote. I don't need to do anything at the end here, remember, because we're not using parenthetical citation. I do need to highlight my lead in green And now I need to highlight or add into it the citation information. So let's look at what we need to do to cite this. Remember, if it has an author, that is the thing that has to be there for it to be properly cited. So even though I have the title, I need to go and check on my topic guide to see if this source has an author. So I am going to scroll up to the top here where I have my different citations. And you can see for this article, Josh Miller is the author. So it does have an author. So that means to properly cite it, I need to add the author's name to this lead-in. So instead of saying the article, I'm going to say Josh Miller's article. And I'm going to highlight the citation information, the author's last name, in red so that I can show that I understand that I have included the citation. So that is adding evidence. So we're going to do that for our second quote too. I'm just going to leave a space in between them. I'm going to type a lead in for this one. This one is about stress about school shootings. Over 70% of Gen Zers apparently stress about school shootings. Move this. And here's my quote. So it's coming from an article called Gen Z reported the most mental health problems. It has a super long title, so I went ahead and shortened it just that. So I'm going to start with the article. Generation Z reported most mental health problems revealed. And then I'm going to put my quotation marks and add my quote with Control-Shift-Z so it doesn't change the formatting. Now I can highlight my lead-in green, and I can check to see what I need to use for citation information in this source. So it's my third article. So look, there is no author, which means that the citation information I need is just the article title, which I already have in my lead-in. So I'm just going to highlight the article title since that is the citation information. I'm going to highlight it red so I know I didn't forget my citation. And there you go. That is how you include evidence or your quotes into your speaker notes. But now you have to represent these on the slide visually. So I'm going to need a visual to go along with this immediate feedback piece, and I'm going to need a visual to go along with this mass and school shootings piece. So I went to Google Images and I searched around for some things that were related to that. I thought it would be cool to maybe find like a list or something of different shootings that have occurred. And I thought for immediate feedback, the immediate feedback piece, since it talks about online grading portals, that I would show a couple examples of those that I know students here use. So I have a Google Classroom logo. I'm just going to go ahead and copy that image. I'm going to drop that on my slide. Undo. Did something weird there. Let's try again. I think I might have copied the image address on accident. There we go. And then I have a Canvas logo. Go ahead and take this Canvas logo, copy image, and paste. Okay. And then for uh, the other, for the shootings piece, I looked up school shootings map 2021, and I found several. Um, I found a lot of mass shooting, just in general mass shooting ones, which I could use. But I thought for students, it would be more the school shooting thing hits a little bit closer to home. So I really wanted a school map, and I found one that had all the school shootings from Columbine, but on Google Images, it looked really blocky and blurry. You don't want to use a bad quality image. However, when I visited the website that it was from, it was much clearer. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this map. And there we go. My slide is done with evidence. This step is finished. All right, finished the adding evidence for your other slides, and this step is complete.